Well, let's talk about two icons of basketball, two guys who have a lot of rings in an interesting way. Pat Riley, Michael Jordan, now both big-time executives, Miami and Charlotte. And I want to talk about their draft picks. With number 9, Michael Jordan took Frank Kaminski, Frank the Tank, and then with number 10 right after him, Justise Winslow went to Miami. Guys, what do you think about these two? I'll go with you, Woodwendy, first. I mean, contrast the cultures of these two situations.
It's Michael doing it again, right? Yeah. Kwame, Adam Morrison, and now Frank. And Frank might be a good player. No, don't get me wrong. But apparently, Celtics offered 6 picks to get at that 9 spot to draft Justise Winslow, and Michael didn't budge. They went for it. I think he might regret that in a few years.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of Justise Winslow, so on the other side of the coin, Pat Riley, that's a perfect pick at 10. He can step in, play the 2, play the 3, backing up potentially Will Dwayne Wade, depending who signs. Great high character guy. At 10, it's an absolute steal. Pat Riley's been making these great moves for years.
Different cultures. Yeah.
Going back to Frank the Tank, I mean, it's like he's just been trying to draft this guy for years. Between his Cody Zellers, his Noah Vonleh, he just loves his stretch forwards who don't play defense. And next to a guy like Al Jefferson, I don't understand. I mean, sure, you have Nick Batum and Michael Kidd-Gilchrist who are going to play D on the wings, but they're going to get slaughtered inside.
You have a 20 and 10 guy, and 3 years in a row you draft a power forward. I just don't get it.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you draft a power forward who plays defense, I get it.
Stan Van Gundy was asked why he didn't take these guys, and he said with Frank the Tank, you know, this is the guy who played deep in the playoffs. He was into the Final Four championship, so he's fresh in your memory banks right now. Do you think this was a mistake by Detroit to skip over? Or?
Well, I think skipping Justise Winslow might be a mistake in the end. Stanley Johnson is not bad. He's a little short. At the combines, we figured out he was like about 6'4", 6'5". It might be a little short for the small forward position, but I don't hate him as a player. But Justise Winslow is just going to be amazing, and that's a big issue.
Well, Justise Winslow's kind of tiny too. Like he was the guy who was 6'4", and
as well, yeah.
I wasn't Stanley like 6'5" or 6", or was he?
Well, both of them were shorter than we expected.
Super tall. But no, I'm not sure. Like I think Winslow's just one of those guys that I think everyone after 7 is going to regret. He's just one of those great character guys and has a lot of defensive talents and I think a bit better offensive game than most people give him credit for. Frank Kaminski is a very, you know, this is the modern NBA. We want bigs who can stretch the floor, and this is what I do. Like I'm not trying to downplay him as a player. Just I think there are other guys who I would have taken ahead of him. Miles Turner, who went to Indiana, I would have taken absolutely if you're pairing with Al Jefferson. I just don't understand what Michael Jordan's doing. I haven't for years. As a non-Hornets fan or Bobcat back in the day, I'm happy that he's there just because my favorite players go to teams I like. That's the only reason I like the dude.
But Batum was maybe the best third wheel in the league, you could say.
Correct. Yeah, he had a down year.
He did have a bad year.
I'm not expecting him to have that bad of a year again. It was a great pickup. With good Chris on the perimeter, the defense is going to be amazing. So I can't wait to see that. Just to come back real quick on Kaminski, they were saying that they missed Josh McRoberts so much last year. That's right. So they were looking for a replacement. So that's one of the reasons why they really like
McRoberts is on
Miami. Hey.
Phil, you said last year in our preseason show the MVP of the league was going to be Chris Bosh. He's going to be back in October. Apparently, he'll be fully healthy. Any shot that he'll be doing that this year?
I think so. I honestly think Miami is going to be one of the better teams in the East. Look, anytime you have Hassan Whiteside, who, you know, we've been giving a lot of credit
I forgot.
On and off the court to Rudy Gobert. Whiteside's been a 20-20 machine with blocks next to Chris Bosh, who's tall and lanky, can play defense with Luol Deng. That's a huge, rangy defensive front court. And if you can have the ball handling of Goran Dragic and Dwayne Wade, hopefully signs, with Justise Winslow and McRoberts off the bench, that's an exciting team. That's a team for me that goes to the conference finals. Yeah. I mean, as good as Cleveland could be if every domino lines up. I like a team that plays defense at every position. Sure, Dragic's not the best, but you can switch him in with Winslow and the ball handling there. I'm just really excited about this team. Can he win that? I think it's going to be a bit of points by committee. I think between Dragic, Wade, Bosh, I don't think he'll score enough.
Assuming Wade is back.
Assuming Wade is back. If he's not, well,
he wants the Kobe contract.
Yeah, he does.
He wants the Kobe contract. But Chris Bosh is weirdly one of the most underrated players in the league.
Strangely, Charlotte. They made the playoffs this year. Do you think they'll be back? Do you think they'll be retooling?
I think
What's Michael doing?
They'll be retooling again. Michael's staying. He's not staying longer than another
right.
year in
So he
Charlotte.
just planted the bombs.
And that's
he
actually
let them
leaving
go,
before it
and then
blows
he's
up,
out.
right? I like a few of the moves they made. Jeremy Lamb is there now.
Right.
They made a few sneaky good moves. Finally, Rich shows like starting to be the GM of that team and moving a few things around. We'll see how it goes. Depending on how Kemba develops this year, they could. I mean, the East is so weak. They
No,
could
but
be in the playoffs.
I agree with you, but I feel there are a few teams in the East that can step up and get better. I don't think it's a given that they're right there. I'm going to slightly disagree with you. I don't think that I have to worry about the Hornets as a contender.
Well, I hear you. I mean, Milwaukee, Orlando, there's a few teams that will be around for sure. But, I mean, you have a point guard. It's a point guard league right now. Al Jefferson, we know what it's going to give you.
Yeah,
it's
but
pretty solid.
aren't those two kind of like B-rated players? Like, Kemba's not like a star.
No, he's not.
He's a good player, and the same with Al Jefferson. He's not a star. He's a good player, and that whole team is just full
the
of that.
Hawks made it to the conference finals with B-rated players.
And a really great coach. Yeah.
I'll still take the Hawks every day over the Hornets because I know the Hornets are going to find a way to mess it up because of MJ himself. He was an assassin on the court, and he's an assassin to his own team
How
off
sad
the
is
court.
that?